little munchies, my first graders. Welcome back to reading on this wonderful Tuesday. Today we're going to be reviewing some pronouns real quick. Remember that a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, and it's a part of speech, just like a noun is a part of speech. A verb is a part of speech. Action word, remember verbs. An adjective is a part of speech. An adjective describes a noun. So our pronouns is a part of speech that replaces a noun. Some of our pronouns that we've learned so far are he, she, and it. And let's review by practicing on a few nouns. So here's our noun, our first one, which is house. And let me draw a house. Here's our wonderful house where we live. So a house is a noun. Is it a person, a place, or a thing? It's a thing, right? And a thing can be replaced by which pronoun? He, she, or it? Well, that's a silly question, Miss Darcy. A house isn't a he or a she. So house would be replaced by the pronoun it. Did you have the right answer? High five. All right, here's our next noun. Let's read it together. Reese. Reese is a noun, and is it a person, place, or thing? Well, here's a clue. It's capitalized, so it's a proper noun. And in this case, Reese is a name. Now, Reese could be a boy or a girl name, but in this case, it's a girl name. So since we know that Reese is a proper noun and it's somebody's name, which pronoun would we replace the noun Reese with? What? I can't hear you. Louder. You're right. The pronoun she. Good job, Munchie. Next one is the noun prince. We know that prince is what kind of noun? Person, place, or thing? Person, good job. And we know that a prince is a boy because a princess is a girl. So he, she, or it would replace prince. Which pronoun? He. Good job. You're doing it. Let's do our next one. How about blouse? Now a blouse, if you're not sure what a blouse is a shirt that women wear. It's kind of a fancier shirt. Like I'm wearing a t-shirt. A blouse is a fancier shirt that I wear blouses a lot. So a blouse is a shirt. So it's a thing, right? In person, place, or thing. It's a thing. And which one of these pronouns replaces this noun? It. Good job. Listen to you guys answering it. It would be it. Let's read this word together. Marge. Marge. Aw, Margie Marge. Marge is what? A proper noun, and it's a girl. So which pronoun will replace this proper noun? Which one? Which one? Which one? There it is, she. Good job. And last one is this name. Oh, this name is short for David. Hey, David. Does anybody ever call you Dave, David? Maybe? Okay. Dave is, we know, is a boy. And the pronoun that would replace a boy would be, you got it, he. Good job reviewing your pronouns. Give yourself a big pat on the back for doing so awesome. You are pronoun pros. Air high five. Now you'll notice today, being Tuesday, that we are reading and writing tricky words. How are we going to do that? Well, in your writing folder, I sent home in your homework bin, everybody should have their writing folder. You have your word wall. Now, I just realized that a few of you that are newer to class, like Lucy and Gabe and Josephine, you don't have your writing folder. So you don't have a word wall. But I put the same list, it doesn't look like this, but it's a list of tricky words in your parent info folder. So if you can't find this, look in your parent info folder, and one of those back pages is all the tricky words that you should know in first grade. So what you're going to do with that tricky word list or your word wall is you are going to write the silliest story for me using tricky words. And you can use as many tricky words as you want. And I'd like you to focus on those tricky words that you don't know how to spell yet. Especially like should and could and would. Those ones are kind of tricky for you guys. Who and why are some tricky ones. So for instance, let's see. I have some tricky words like, I'm going to make sure that I use the word should in my silly story. I'm going to make sure that I use the word tomorrow in my story. And I'm going to make sure I use the word there as in over there. Get it? Not that word there as in that's their classroom, but over there. And let's throw in the word some. There's a good one, some. Like, can I have some of your cookie? That's that tricky one because it looks like some, but it's some. Then I'm going to think of the silliest story I've ever written on whatever piece of paper that you'd like to write it on. So the silliest thing I could think of, let's see. Oh, and another one of our tricky words is once. And what a great way to start a story, once upon a time. So here we go. I'm going to start my story with once upon a time. And I'm going to keep going. There was a buffalo that was purple. He wanted to go to the market, but he couldn't go until tomorrow. So even though he wanted to get some Cadbury eggs, kind of obsessed with Cadbury eggs right now, because it's Easter and they're delicious. Even though he wanted to get some Cadbury eggs today, that's another word of our tricky words, today, he had to wait till tomorrow. Well, he thought, maybe I can get some balloons and blow them up and go today. Is my story really silly? I could probably make it sillier. I'd rather read your stories than think of my own. So, think of your own story, use tricky words to write them, and when you're writing your story, underline those tricky words for me. Every single tricky word that you see or that you write, underline it. That way I can find your tricky words fast, okay? And that you can look back and say, wow, I used so many tricky words. I'm not putting a number on how many tricky words you have to use, but seriously, use more than 2 or 3. Use a bunch, okay? Okay? All right, have fun with this one. You can pause me, and when you're done writing that story, we'll move on to reading our next story in our reader. All right, class, now that you're done with your awesome story, we are going to get out our reader grace, and let's look in our table of contents for the story that comes after the yard sale, which we read yesterday, and that story would be The Storm. Let's go on over and find what page it's on. Looks like it's on page what? You got it. Turn there. And we are on The Storm. Notice that it has our S sounds bolded and our N sounds bolded. So right here, it'll show you what words you can look for that has those sounds that we're still practicing. So we have our N sound that's spelled with our K-N, like in knees, knock, and kneeling. We have our K sound spelled with our CK, and remember when we have our K sound spelled with our CK, it's usually towards the end of a word. It's never at the beginning of the word. So we have duck, we have blocked, and we have knock. We have our S sounds, and remember there's several ways to make our sound. We're using 3 today, CE like in voice, SE like in house, and C like in winces and place. We have some 2-syllable words as well, like thunder, scamper, shelter, and darkness. You'll see all of those words in there. We also have some vocab words, like blocked out. Blocked out means in front of something so it cannot see. You'll also see the word scamper. To scamper means to run or move quickly. Can you start scampering for me right now? Go ahead and pause me. Did you scamper? Did you run around? Did you run or move quickly? That's what you're supposed to be doing. Good job. The next vocab word is shelter. And shelter is a place that covers or protects people and animals. You know that from our geology unit, right? What are the 3 things we need to survive, that all animals need to survive? food, water, and shelter. So you know what shelter is. And the last one is winces. And if you wince, you make a pained or a scared face, like this. Everybody wince for me right now. I love those winces. So after you read the story, what was it called? The Storm. Go ahead and get out your workbook, and you're going to do 12.1, The Storm. Make sure you use your neatest, nicest handwriting. Check your COPs, use complete sentences. You have all been doing awesome at this. Page number, you can do if you'd like. That shows me where you found your answer if you'd like an extra challenge. You don't have to do your page number if you do not want to, because this is a lot of work, and I'm okay if you skip that page number. There's the front and the back. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.